Hi, my name is Natalie. I have been teaching and practicing tantric meditations for the past 10 years, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk about all topics to do with sexuality and tantra and self-healing. And today I wanted to talk about the strength of men's erections and how to make them stronger. The point isn't really to have a really big, strong erection, as it is to fulfill the potential of your sexual energy and to feel like a man. You know, a man who has a functioning sexual organ. And although we can't make it bigger or change it, we can induce sexual energy in the area in order for it to become, yes, a little bit bigger, stronger, to last longer. And, you know, besides all the emotional reasons why you might be having issues with the strength of your erection, there are also physical things that we can do, and there are very specific things that we can do with the sexual energy if we start working with the sexual energy in a different way. So if we're just looking at sex as, you know, I'm horny and this is something that I do in order to relieve myself of stress, and it's just a very physical, animalistic thing, then maybe this channel isn't for you, and maybe these tips won't really be of any interest to you, and that's okay. But if you have been exploring, you know, the world of sexual energy and energy in general, and you understand that, you know, we're not just this physical body, but there is a lot more beyond that, and we have our thoughts and our emotions and the energy in our body, and these are all things that we can learn how to connect to and work with in a different way, then maybe this video is for you. And we talk about strong, powerful, long-lasting erections. We're just talking about the healthy way that your body is supposed to work when everything is balanced and you're healthy and you're connected. Then, you know, you're in the right situation, whether it's with the right person or by yourself. You'll get a healthy erection. You know, it's just the way nature is. When you're healthy and everything's working, your sexual organs work as well. Then we understand that when it doesn't work that well, when your erections aren't as strong as they used to be or as you want them to be, or you don't really control them that much, and sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. We can look into the emotional reasons for that, because there probably are emotional reasons, and all the things that you've been through in your life with women, with partners, with your mother, with your sisters. So all that emotional baggage accumulates, and eventually it does start to affect the body and the flow of the energy in the body. So I would recommend that you check out those emotional issues, because that is one part of the work that we do in Tantra. There's the emotional, the mental, and then the physical. I will tell you the physical things that you can do, but I wanted to start first of all with the emotional side, because most, or let's say a lot of men have a tendency to kind of skip the emotional work and the mental work and focus only on the physical work. And yes, there are physical exercises, there are a few techniques and tips that I will give you in this video, but I don't believe that doing them just, you know, by themselves will make that much of a difference. It will make a difference, because, you know, you're doing something with your body and you're taking responsibility and you're learning how to connect to yourself and to your penis and to your body in a different way. So it will definitely do something good. But I don't feel it's the whole process, and I feel like a lot of men, especially the ones watching my channel and commenting on my videos, you know, they do the physical work and they've been doing it for quite a while. And while a lot of them have seen results, they're not necessarily the results that they were looking for. And I get it, because the result is to be a tantric man, to experience multi-orgasms, inner orgasms, to actually experience a loving and respectful, compassionate relationship with a woman that you have sexual interaction with, and have that merging of man and woman and the masculine and the feminine energies. And through this amazing tantric sex, you want to connect to God and the universe and yourself and experience this eternal bliss. which is, I believe, what we all want deep inside, is to experience that eternal bliss, which is being connected to everything and being in a loving and accepting and positive and happy vibration. So, you know, you might get some benefits from doing only the physical work. You might be able to last longer or control it a bit more, but it's just a step on the way to that eternal bliss. And for me, that's the goal. But anyway, I will give physical exercises at the end, and you're more than welcome to do them and see them, how they help, and if they help and what difference they make. But I did want to state that the emotional work is important, because if you're doing only the physical work, it might work and do something, but it's more likely that the problem is going to keep on happening and occurring no matter how much physical work you do, unless you figure out the emotional blockages that are actually, you know, blocking the energy from flowing in the proper way. Because when the energy flows in the proper way, your body will be healthy and you won't have to think or worry or work on your erection. It will just happen naturally and everything will be okay. So that's the emotional work. Check your emotional blockages. You know, if you have issues with the strength of your erection, when did that begin? When did that start? At what age? What else happened at that age? What kind of experiences with women were you having back then? You know, start exploring what's actually underneath, because you could say that not having a strong enough erection is the same as saying you don't have enough sexual energy going to your second chakra, which is your penis. And the second chakra is the emotions and the inner child and the creativity and the joy and the happiness, and ages 7 to 14. So any kind of emotional blockage we have in the second chakra is going to prevent our sexual energy or our life energy from flowing properly in that chakra, and it will affect the functionality of the genitals and body parts in that area of that chakra. And we're talking about second chakra emotional blockages that prevent the energy from flowing properly in the second chakra, your penis, which is why maybe it is not getting enough energy to have a full erection. And so again, you would need to focus also on the emotional work if you actually want to open that chakra and allow the energy to flow there in a natural, healthy, loving way. The mental work is understanding what I just said about the emotional work and actually doing the emotional work and seeing that sometimes, you know, we're stuck on a very physical level and we don't necessarily understand sex in a healthy, loving, energetic way. We're stuck in our ways, in what we know, what we've experienced. We listen to doctors and researchers and articles and stuff on the news, but we don't actually have a connection to our body, to our sexuality, to our subconscious, to our inner child. And maybe we don't even think we need that. And it's mumbo jumbo, woohoo, feminine, women's talk stuff, and I'm a man, I don't need all that. But that's a mental blockage. And although you are a man, you also have feminine energy, and you're a human being, and you have emotions, and you have emotional blockages. So if what I said about the emotional blockages kind of put you off, maybe that's your mental blockage that you need to work with. But I would suggest you find out what your mental blockage is, because that is another thing that's preventing you from reaching the goal that I talked about, even if you are doing the physical work. So I hope that was clear. I can talk about these things, you know, the mental work and the emotional work more if it interests you. So please let me know in the comments. We reach the physical things that you can do if your erection is not strong enough. One practice, which is a very physical practice, comes from the world of Tantra. Probably Mantak Chia talks about this on his channel or in his books. It is kind of, and I got this tip from a man, a tantric man, because as you know, I don't have a penis, so I haven't had to deal with these things. But the tantric man that I talked to told me that the technique would be to kind of push on your penis and squeeze it down and kind of push the actual energy, like the blood and everything that's going on there, push it to the tip. And if you do that a few times when, you know, while you're breathing, relaxing your body, you need to be in a relaxed state. You need to take deep breaths. They don't have to be really long and really deep, but we do want to bring our attention to the breath and maybe slow them down a little bit and get into a relaxed state. And that's correct. If you're masturbating or having sex with someone, that automatically is going to help your erection. So we kind of relaxed and we took these deep breaths. And then you basically push the energy, squeeze the penis down towards the tip. And do that a few times while you're breathing, relaxing your anus, and see what it does, and if it helps the erection become a little bit stronger. Another thing that we can do is, I guess, in our imagination, but it can be at first in our masturbation practices, and then maybe we will learn how to do it with the woman and when we're having sex. But it would be, again, deep breaths, relaxing the body, maybe closing your eyes, maybe doing this during masturbation, and then kind of imagining your penis in your mind and imagining energy from all the other parts of your body going directly into the penis. And you can kind of imagine like electric bolts or liquid. It doesn't matter how you imagine the energy, but you're imagining going from all the different parts of your body. It's like they're lending your penis some energy, and you can touch your penis while you're doing it and feel it grow stronger as you imagine all the energy going in there. Also pay attention to your anus, because if it's clenched, closed, then the energy won't be able to flow in a proper way into your penis. So we're imagining the energy. After we've imagined the energy in our penis, you can imagine in your mind your penis erect and strong and big and powerful. You can also imagine yourself in this imagination, like big and strong and powerful, but start with like imagining as you're flowing the energy down there, imagine it grow bigger and stronger and, manly, as they would say, and see what that does to your actual penis. When you're doing these exercises that I just talked about, the physical exercises, I would also recommend you pay attention to what thoughts come up. What does this remind you of? What feeling does it create in your body? How does it make you feel when you're doing these practices? Does it make you feel not good enough? Does it remind you of early experiences you had with your penis, with your erection when you first experienced it in life? Like, see what else is coming out. Don't focus only on the physical practice. Try and add a bit of the emotional and the mental work to it. And I promise you it would do a lot better work at succeeding than if you're just focusing on the physical work. That's what I wanted to talk about today. I have a lot more tips to give on this subject, but I think this video has been long enough. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if this was interesting, and if you have any tips on the subject, I would love to hear from you and, to hear what you do, and I'm sure other people would love to hear it too. So yeah, thank you for the comments again. If you like this video, please subscribe. I do upload these quite frequently around these subjects, and I also do private online Zoom sessions with people who want to focus on the emotional and the mental work. I've been doing it for about 10 to 12 years with people, mainly men. So if you feel like I can help you in that area, you're more than welcome to contact me. The details are down below. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in my next video.